Hello, and welcome to Rock Your Block, where we outreach and highlight community impact. I'm your host, Larry Laws. On today's segment of First Home Alliance, we're going to talk about the impact of COVID-19 pandemic on the communities we serve. It continues to worsen existing inequalities across the United States. Unfortunately, many families and individuals across the U.S. continue to face job losses, financial instability, and the threat of homelessness. And report by the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau shows that Black and Hispanic mortgage borrowers are more likely to be delinquent or in forbearance program compared to white borrowers. The American Rescue Act of 2021 was signed into law by President Biden on March 11, 2021, in order to address these issues and stabilize our homes and communities. The legislation charges NeighborWorks America with designating the administrating and national $100 million housing counseling programs that will provide grants to support housing counseling for households facing housing instability, such as eviction, default, foreclosure, loss of income, or homelessness. NeighborWorks America have designated the Housing Stability Counseling Program and awards more than $88 million in grants to meet the needs of residents facing housing instability and ensure funds are released to housing counseling agencies throughout the nation. Here with me today is a very special guest. She has been with First Home Alliance for over 16 years. She is my right hand and my left hand too. She is boots on the ground and truly the first line of defense between homeownership and foreclosure, renters and eviction, and in many cases, housing versus homelessness. Please welcome to our show, First Home Alliance, Senior Housing Advisor, Charlene Watkinsberg. Charlene, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Charlene, I know your name is on everything. Your name is on almost more things than my name is on.
I know.
Because you're talking to our clients every day. But people really don't know who you are.
Right.
And so why don't you tell our audience a little bit about you?
So a little bit about me. I am born and raised in this area, which I say that because it's such a mixing bowl, and there's a lot of time people just not from this area. So I was born and raised actually at Fairfax Hospital, and so I've lived here my whole life. I'm married 16 years, nothing but the grace of God that I've been married for 16 years. I am a mother of four. I have 4 boys. I'm turning into my mother because I forget their names and how old they are. Like, they're all named with a C.
Yes.
And so Charles, Cameron, Chase, and Carter, they're a handful because
Yes.
they're all boys, and they eat like they have tapeworms. And so it's just, it's a joy to be a mother of 4. Sometimes you don't feel that way.
Yes.
I was looking for a girl, but it's okay. It's okay. I'm all right with it.
Well, keep trying. You got a basketball team.
Absolutely not.
You can get there.
No.
Believe me, you can get there.
I'll put a dress on one of them. I'm not doing it.
No. But Charlene, it's been amazing. We've been together for many, many, many years. And I say, when you dress up, you really look like your mom.
Mother.
You really do. Every time. You just look like your mom. But Charlene, one thing I want to get to is about why you're still here. But other is about those boys. You probably think I don't know your kid's name, right?
You don't.
You don't think so?
You faking. You don't know him.
Well, I know you got Charles in charge.
Yeah.
Right? Or Charles Schwab, or whatever, Charles Schwab, Charles in charge. And then you have You have, wait just a minute. You have, what's his name? Wait just a minute, wait. The one that starts with a C. I'm sorry. But you got one that's chief. He's going to be a chief of financial operations.
Yeah.
Right. And then you have, was it Cameo?
See?
Wait, no. Wait, what is his name? Come on, start with a C.
Cameron.
Right, Cameron. And so we had Cameron. And what's the bank for Cameron?
That's Chase.
Chase. Did I miss anybody?
Yes, you did.
Mr. Foreclosure, right?
Mr. Foreclosure is Cameron. Then we have Chase Manhattan,
Right.
and then we have Carter, which is Chief.
Carter's chief. But foreclosure, they don't know why I call him Mr. Foreclosure. Tell us a little about Mr. Foreclosure.
All right. So we have Cameron, which we call Mr. Foreclosure. That is his nickname. And how he got that nickname is because when I was pregnant with him, I was 9 months pregnant. We had a foreclosure intervention clinic in the Woodbridge area, and I was literally due that day. But we had this clinic, and at that time, it was a pandemic of its own. It was a foreclosure crisis at that time. And so I came to work, but I was actually in labor. And so this will tell y'all about my boss and, and his commitment to the mission.
Yours too.
And my commitment to the mission. I came to work. I was actively in labor. My boss had a blanket in his car and some water. He was ready, but I stayed at work the entire time. And sure enough, I left. And when I left, went to the hospital, and I had him, Mr. Foreclosure, that night after the event.
And that's how he got his name,
And
Mr.
that's
Foreclosure.
how he got his name.
Definitely. And that was in 2008, correct?
That was in 2008.
Yes, well, we was dealing with a crisis then.
Yes,
we was dealing with a crisis. And really, when we're talking about commitment, loyalty, and duty, and dedication, and all that other stuff, it's you. You were there. You was there. You stuck with, and you had an option to go to the hospital and wait it out, or come
Ain't no point.
and show up for duty.
Right.
You showed up for duty. Yes, I really appreciate that. But Charlene, seriously, you could be anywhere. At this time, I'm quite sure you had job offers at. You can talk about the different institutions. You can talk about some of your national locations. You can talk about state, and you can talk about regional. You can talk about individual, what is credit, or loan officers, or real estate professionals, or whatever. But you could be anywhere that you really, with your skills and ability, you could be there. And so why are you serving with First Home Alliance, the nonprofit boots on the ground organization?
I served with First Home Alliance. One, the inception, the reason behind First Home Alliance, it's, even though that's your story, it means a lot to me that your mother purchased her first home at the age of 65. And that's really important because you meet a lot of people that think that home ownership is not within their grasp and not within their reach. And when I hear your family's story about the fact that she was able to purchase a home at the age of 65 after being on public housing her entire life, and that's really important to me. I also stayed with First Home Alliance because I just believe in our mission to increase home ownership to low to moderate income families, to serve our veteran community. We're doing that, and I see how the impact is so important. The impact, the impact and the outcomes, how it's really changing lives in terms of legacy, families building wealth and things of that nature. Yeah, I could go anywhere, but would I have the same impact if I go to these larger organizations? Would what I do mean as much? Because you could just become another number. And I think what First Home Alliance does, we can actually physically see the impact on the community. And I think, going with a larger organization, would I be able to see it? Not so much.
And how are you able to, because it becomes personal. To me, I have all this personal stuff, but then I have to relay that to my family and my friends because I want them to feel the same, at least get some of this, enthusiasm, this encouragement, this what my drive. And so, because they are your why,
right?
You have those boys. And so, those boys, how do you explain to the boys, this is my why? And how do you, explain that to them? This is why I do this.
Well, I explained it to them vocally, but then not so much because as you know, my boys have been volunteering with First Home Alliance
Yes, they
for a very long time, you know, since Charles was about 4.5, 5, since Cameron, I think he was like 2 when he started coming out there with us. I vocalized to them the importance of community and the importance of giving back, and how your community truly is only as strong as the people that are in it. Like literally, what are you doing to help your community? You can talk and say this, that, and the third. You can complain as much as you want, but really, what are you doing to pour back into the community? And I want to be an example, you know, to my boys that it's important to give back. It's important to sow seeds. It's important to work with nonprofits, not just First Home Alliance. There's vast of nonprofits that you can work with. And so I need to show them that. You can tell them all you want. You know what I mean?
That's true.
But if you don't show,
Correct.
we want to put that together. And I think they see that. They see the impact of First Home Alliance. My boys tell people about First Home Alliance at their young age. And so that in itself is my why. You know?
Well, you know, we got a lot to talk about, Charlene. And this thing is going by so quickly, so quickly. And actually, you know, you've been with First Home Alliance how long?
Almost 16 years.
16 years, 16 years. And so I want we're going to take a short break.
Okay.
You know, and after the break, I want to tell him why you stay so long, but also some of the impact and the individuals that you have impacted in this community. I would like for you to share with our audience about the impact that you and First Home Alliance have had on this community.
Absolutely.
All right. We're about to take a short break. But before we go, I would like to remind you that First Home Alliance is a HUD-approved housing counseling agency. If you are a first-time home buyer, a renter, a homeowner seeking homeowner or housing assistance, please visit the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development website to find a HUD-approved housing counseling agency in your area. We'll be right back after the break. Stay tuned.
Nonprofit. He established it because his mother purchased her first home at the age of 65. And everyone was like, how did you do that? Because her income was really low. And so that's how he found out about the USDA program. And so through the USDA program, his mother was able to purchase her first home. It intrigued him to see how he could help individuals basically experience the American dream of homeownership. So he established the nonprofit. Mission is to increase homeownership to low to moderate income families. And so what does First Home Alliance do?
Welcome back. You're watching Rock Your Block. I'm your host, Larry Laws, on First Home Alliance. And if you just now tune in, we're joined today by First Home Alliance Senior Housing Advisor, Charlene Watkinsberg. Charlene, before the break, you gave us a lot about why you're here. I mean, when you say why, a lot of people don't understand that why, but you told us why. You talked about your kids, you talked about your family, you're talking about our mission. But I want you to talk about First Home Alliance, some of the things that you have experienced since you've been here. Can you share with some of the individuals that you are, or maybe you have a story of an individual you have helped, or we have helped in the last 12 months? Yes,
I definitely have a story. The why is so important. In our first time home buyers class, I always tell everybody, write your why on your book when you come in here. Why do you want to purchase a home? And so I have a why as to why I do this. A story that comes into mind, recently we had an individual who lives in the southern region who came to us. She found us through HUD.gov. And when she came to us, she was kind of down, about her situation because she really wanted to purchase a home, and all the lenders that she had worked with stated, hey, that she wasn't eligible, the type of job that she had, that they weren't able to utilize all of the income. Long story short, she came to First Home Alliance. I am like one of these type of counselors that you got to tell me no at least 6 times because I just don't believe you, And so we work with some of our community partners. We have great community partners, and we were able to get her approved for a loan utilizing all of her income. The same people who told her no, or not the same people, but the lenders who told her no, we had lenders who told her yes. And so she's a single mother. She works with adults with disabilities, and she also has a child with a disability. Able to get approved, able to find a property, and she closed on that property December 2nd of this year. And that's the why. That's the why.
Yeah, and that's fantastic. I know you gave us a short version of that story, but a lot of people don't know where to go, They're trying to travel along a path or that journey to home ownership, and they meet a barrier. They don't know that next step. And a lot don't know where to go. They may not know what a housing counselor or a housing advisor, what can you do, and why should they contact a housing advisor? Why should they?
I think the reason why a person should contact a housing advisor, I use the story of this. If I need to replace my brakes, am I going to try to do it myself? I'm not a mechanic.
No.
You know what I mean? I mess around being in somebody's living room because my brakes don't work. I'm not a mechanic. So what am I going to do? I'm going to go and find a mechanic. I want to find someone who is experienced in changing brakes. So it's the same thing as a housing advocate. You need to find somebody who's experienced in being an advocate. Find someone who understands the language. I think the biggest thing in all industries is language, right? And so when you don't understand the language, you don't understand the terms, the guidelines, you're lost. So by finding or using a housing advisor, a housing advocate, whatever you want to call us, we're going to help you navigate through the process. Understand the language, understand the do's and don'ts. First Home Alliance's main thing is affordability. We want to make sure that you can afford whatever it is that you're doing. However this transaction works, we want to make sure that it's smooth. And so I think that's the importance of finding that counselor.
Yeah, and so when they're talking about housing counselors, credit counselors, home ownership counselors, housing advisors, and now we have this thing, National Housing Counselor Certification. So with a certified housing counselor, what are some of the things that you can actually help an individual or mentor them and guide them through? What are some of the services that you're specialized in, First Home Alliance can provide?
So First Home Alliance can help an individual with pre-purchase counseling. And pre-purchase counseling is simply this. I want to buy a house, but I have no idea where to start. What do I do? How do I build a team? How do I find funding? How do I get a loan officer or a realtor or closing? We help you build that team and get to the finish line. So that's one, pre-purchase counseling. We also work with individuals who are experiencing a hardship. So, hey, this COVID-19 has really knocked me out the park. I don't know what to do. We provide loss mitigation services to help individuals sustain home ownership. Credit restoration. What do I do? Where do I start? I saw the sign on the road that says we fix credit. Nah, man.
Can you fix it?
There's no such thing. There's no such thing as fixing credit. All right. We help you restore credit. There's a gamut of services that First Home Alliance provides, but we provide those services with expertise. That's the purpose of going with a certified housing counselor. You're going to get those expertise that you may not get if you find somebody on the side of the road.
That can fix it, right?
Yeah, that can fix it.
That can fix it. Yeah. And so we talked in this particular segment, we was talking about housing stability counseling. And so we understand that there has been a national initiative with an emphasis on helping families through this pandemic. We know there's been a tremendous impact on families. And families, not only homeowners that are in their homes, but those that have been renting. And so it's a possibility that individuals that are homeowners, could lose their homes and become renters again. But we also have renters that could become homeless.
Yeah.
Even homeless could be homeless.
Right.
And so we're trying, with the initiative is to get the word out there as to what services we can provide. Now, you have experience, 2008. So that's where you got your boots
wet.
muddy,
Yep.
or you got you earn that red cape. You have that red
Yes, I
cape.
did. Yes, I did.
Keeping families together. And so tell us a little bit about this new program that's initiated by NeighborWorks America. Tell us a little bit about that program and how can you help families in your community now?
So the Housing Stability Counseling Program who is that product for? That product is for individuals who experience whether it be loss of income due to COVID, and now they're facing eviction. Now they're facing foreclosure. That's who that product was designed for. And so if a person, now they can't work because they have health issues because of COVID and now they're behind. That's the Housing Stability Program is meant for you. You're facing eviction. You have a notice from your landlord, 5-day pay or quit or what have you. That product is for you. You've received a notice of intent from your servicer. You're no longer able to make that monthly payment. The Housing Stability Program is for you. There's several, there's been, as you stated in the beginning, there's a lot of money that has been set aside to get the word out about these programs. And so if you're facing foreclosure, if you're facing eviction, the Housing Stability Program is meant for you.
Yeah. Now, I do know in 2008, one of the first things like open your mail. And so how would a person, identify saying, hey, I need to call someone for help? What are some of the key factors to let them know that they need to call somebody?
Oh, the biggest one is that eviction notice taped on your door. That right there, sir.
Yeah.
That's a red flag. Or,
Yeah.
I always say it. You know that you can't make the mortgage payment. You know that you can't make the rent. You cannot tell me that 30 days from now you have no idea whether or not you can make your mortgage payment or your rent. You know it now. And so the red flags. You see the eviction notice. You're getting the phone calls from your landlord. You're getting the phone calls from your servicer or your bank. Those are the key factors. Hey, let me go to HUD.gov. Let me contact First Home Alliance.
And we know they're going to call you.
Yes.
They will.
Yes.
They got your number already, and we're going to give them all the instructions of where to call Charlene. But before
Not Charlene, First Home Alliance.
Okay, but no, when they call First Home, they're like, can I speak to Charlene? It's going to be to believe me or not. He may want them to call First Home, they call Charlene. But Charlene, what are some of the things they can put together now?
Okay.
Start now, or when they call you, but definitely you're going to say, I need for you to put these things together so we can move forward and take care of the situation.
Some of the documentation that we want you to put together now is such as your ID, a government issued ID. Do you have that? Do you have notice from your servicer or your landlord stating that you're behind? Is that notice stating the dollar amount? Are you receiving any type of public benefits? If you're receiving that, then this kind of negates you having to show proof of your income. So if you're receiving public assistance, you want to have that together. Your paycheck stubs, you want to show the last 30 days in terms of your paycheck stubs. Those are some 5 key things. It's not a lot. The main thing that people need to understand, we're not asking for you to submit the kitchen sink, all right? You ain't got to do all that. We're just asking for you to 5 documentation, 5 pieces of paper that we need you to get in hand, to be prepared to submit for some type of assistance.
Okay. And Charlene, this situation that we're in, it's not going anywhere. And so the loss mitigation or the NFMC that they have, and people not the National Foreclosure Mitigation Process, that lasted for about almost 8 years, if I'm not mistaken, 2008 to 2016. Right. And so the situation we're in now is going to last for a number of years. We're going to have a few rounds with this. And so I think we need to come back again, to put it on tape as to how we can help in some of the things that we're doing and get individuals started so that we can help mitigate them through this process.
Oh, I definitely agree.
All right. Okay. So thank you for coming on today.
Absolutely.
All right. Thank you. All right. I hope you enjoyed this short interview with First Home Alliance Senior Housing Counselor. And we're coming back. Our housing advisor, Charlene Watkinsberg, will be back. However, now it's time to check our inbox and see how we can help you rock your block. This is where we We check a recent question sent to us from you, our viewing audience, about financial stability and housing. Today's question comes from Woodbridge, Virginia. The question is, how do I start my emergency savings? That is a good question. Today, we're honored to have with us our certified housing counselor to answer that question for you. Charlene, how would I start an emergency savings?
How do you start an emergency savings? Save what you will not miss. Save what you will blow at Walmart. If that dollar amount is $20, then that's what you want to start that savings. Remember, with savings, it's just about this consistency, to do it on a regular basis. At our first-time homebuyers class that we have basically almost every week, we dive more deeper into that. But again, basically save what you will not miss. If it's $5, save it. $10, save it.
I'm Larry Laws of First Home Alliance, and it has been a pleasure sharing with you our mission and highlighting the impact of our services. If you have questions about financial fitness, housing stability, or how we can help you make your dream of homeownership a success, send your question to our inbox at firsthomealliance.org and tune into our next show to see if your question was selected to be answered and share it with our audience. You can easily get more information about your services by visiting us on the web at firsthomealliance.org. Thank you for watching today's segment of First Home Alliance, and join us next time to rock your block.
Glad to know that, some of this stuff about credit and buying houses is written down somewhere. A lot of the times it's always hearsay, like other friends or family members who have bought houses before, but they can never, tell you legit what you need to get done and do before buying a house.
I definitely think this class should be required for all first home buyers, because a lot of times the real estate agent doesn't explain the process to you. So I think this is very important.
It's from the credit up to receiving a loan, and the most important thing is the process that you go through when you're buying the house, and there are a lot of process which you don't have idea about that before you take this class.
Speakers who came up and spoke about each section, they were very knowledgeable in their field, and I felt like it was relatable. They didn't just throw out a whole bunch of terms that went over my head, but they really explained it in a way to where I understood it, and I could even explain it to my children, and it was even easier for me to take home and kind of remember and process and apply to my next steps. The process was amazing.
They start first with the class before even finding a lender or agent. So I did all that and I wasn't able to purchase, and then I was like, oh, you know what, there's a lot of information I'm not aware of. Let me just start from the beginning, to put everything on hold. Start from
piecing the information together, because you've heard things about the loans and about this and about the credit, but this is like a summary, and it just gives a clear flow of where to go with what you have and kind of building up a plan. So that kind of gives me a whole picture of where I needed to go and how to get there.